Hello everyone and welcome to this quick tutorial doodad. What's that block doing here? Let's get rid of it. Anyways, welcome to this little showcase of the metro system for the TLS4. It's not 100% complete, but it is like 99% done. So I thought I'd show it out. It is a little bit complicated, but I'll walk you through it, and hopefully by the end you will understand everything. So first of all, let's start off from the perspective of just a guy wanting to use a metro. This is just my design, but in general this is how metro stations on the network will look like. You'll walk into a room and there will be two main areas. There's the arrival area, which is just that. And then there's the departures area, also marked by this green line. Why that is, I'll tell you soon. And you can't really do much here except push this button, which will you do? You will board the metro line onward to your next destination. I really like the simplicity of it, and while planning out the metro, I've had many issues where, okay, if we have, for example, if you were to have live rails in this room, and you would have to go into a card. First of all, that's slow because you'd have to get into a card, press a button, and then go, which takes time. And also, some people might get confused and go to the arrivals lane instead of the departures lane. It'd be messy. It'd be slow. So instead, we have this. If I choose to depart, watch this. We get a nice little jingle. And we're on our way to the next destination, should there have actually been a rail line here. So what happened here? Well, in the minecarts mod that is on Techie Lite, we have these new rail types, and one of them is the passenger pickup rail. What this does is within a certain boundary, I guess you could call it, at a certain distance, it will just pick up people and put them into minecarts that go over that rail. So what happens when we press this button is, first of all, we get a nice little jingle, which I guess you could say isn't necessary, but I really like little jingles like this. It sort of reminds me of trains in Japan, and also it's really nice, gives it character. Anyways, what will happen is that the dispenser will pop out a minecart, which, thanks to this funky rail here, will start going forward. We'll go over the pickup rail, pick up our player, and then enter this weird bit of track. Now, what is this and why is it so like snaky? Well, a main safety concern with having a metro system is that, well, in a metro line, there is only one rail track throughout the entire length of the line. So, for example, let's say somebody is traveling on the metro line and their cart is right here, yet somebody at the same time in the station will want to join the track and board a cart. Well, if they're too close to each other, they could crash into each other, which would be bad. And also, I'll talk about this later, when you go off to exit the track onto a station, you actually need a fair bit of separation distance in between the carts to be able to do it comfortably. So what happens here is that if the track detects that there is another minecart currently traveling on the track and it would be unsafe to let out another one until this one passes, what happens is through a wire, which I'll explain soon, this little bit of rail closes. And at that point, the guy who just boarded is going around and around and around and around until that other minecart passes, and only then is he released onto the track. Let's see how that works. At the beginning of the station's bit of track, you know it's the station bit of track because of the red markers. A normal tunnel will look like this, just plain walls. However, when we approach a station, we get these little marks. You see this little sensor over here, and what that will do is through this long bit of wire, it will set a latch, and that latch signals to the rest of the circuitry that currently there is a minecart on the track and it is unsafe to let out another one join it. So what that latch will do is it will trigger the output here, power this little bit of wire, power this, and have the minecart click in here. So let me show you a quick example. Actually, I'm gonna use a button because it's kind of hard to catch the minecart as it comes out, as it's so fast. There we go. I'll talk about that audio cue later. However, if we now look in here, it didn't work. That's embarrassing. Why? Huh? Oh. I see. What I have just done is fucked up. Oopsie poopsie. This needs to be fixed. Ooh. Yeah, that's embarrassing on the fucking video too. Oh, I know. You saw nothing. Anyways, let's continue. So what will happen now is this gets locked. Now there's a minecart on the track, and if we look in here, this bit of track has been closed. So if I let out another minecart, say I want a board, notice if you stand behind this line, you're out of the range of the pickup rail and you don't get grabbed. But now if we go down, the minecart is stuck in a loop and it will not exit until the minecart traveling through here has passed the station. So let's do that. And so how does this work? Well, to put it simply, it's actually pretty simple. At the end there is just another detector rail, so that when the minecart passes by it, it resets the latch. That little bit of weirdness here that I had to fix is due to the fact how you stop at the station. So you may notice a lot of levers over here and this mysterious entry over here, where should you want to stop at a station, first of all you will hear a bunch of clicks to let you know that hey, now it's time to decide, do you want to stop here or you want to go forward. If you want to stop here, you just gotta flick any of these levers, and when you do, you get a confirmation tone and this rail changes direction. So now you get redirected here. What happens here is you go up, up, up. There's another detector rail here to reset the system, saying that you have arrived at the station. And there's another special rail, the passenger drop-off rail, which essentially kicks you out of the minecart and into the station, into the arrivals area. You will notice a lot of glass over here. This is glass purely so that you can see the insides, but it matters that there are blocks here, because the passenger drop-off rail just kind of searches for the next best place to put the player once they leave the minecart. So you gotta sort of board up all this area so that it doesn't have anywhere to put you except here. So I'm gonna reset the system. Oh, and one more thing. You may notice that, oh actually never mind. I got confused, sorry guys, I almost lost this world before, so whatever. I'm gonna just quickly reset this. Boom. As you can see, the minecart also here gets destroyed on a cactus and collected here, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so first of all, I want to stop here. Let's go. Flick anything, confirmation, and I'm here. As you can see, it doesn't quite drop me in the right area, but I have to move it here. But this looks just so much better, so I kept it like that. I'm sorry. And if we do not want to stop at a particular station, we just don't do anything. That's it. It's so easy. One more thing about the card, the boarding system. You may notice that this little sign here says, when the light is off, boarding is disabled. Now, why that is? Well, first of all, the dispenser at the bottom can run out of minecarts. We'll talk about how that works later. But also, this is another safety mechanism. Again, we have to maintain a certain separation distance in between the minecarts. This is why, for example, we don't join the track right here, but instead we go down one more curve and only join it here. This is to buy us time, to buy us this separation distance in between cards, so that even if there are multiple people at the station spamming the buttons, the cards will still come out properly separated from the station. So the way that works is when a minecart is dispensed, there is another latch over here that will prevent us from dispensing another minecart until the one that is on here has exited the departures track and triggered this rail sensor. Only then can we board another minecart. So this is another safety mechanism and what's essentially necessary to have a system like that work. You can even hear it chimes a second time to let you know that you can click the button again. Neat! Now let's talk about the minecart delivery system. Because again, metro lines will stretch for kilometers all over the server and they all need minecarts. This dispenser over here needs to have minecarts in its inventory. Fixed it. For us to be able to ride it. So how does that work? Well, the food tube system. As you can see over the roof of the metro tunnel, we have a couple of additional cables run. Ignore the yellow bits, these are just extensions. Beyond everything that is yellow would have just kept on going. Anyways, we have a couple of things running here. We have normal electricity, we have the food tube pipeline, and we have the red power high voltage cable. This is to power all the systems, starting with the food tube. The food tube runs all over the server. It transports many more things besides minecarts, but in this case, the metro also uses it for minecarts. So if we take a look first at the dispenser for the minecart boarding, we can see that the pipe comes through here into this food tube receiver, which collects minecarts from the system. And this works like any other food tube receiver. You can read the food tube doc about how that works. But essentially, each item on the food tube network has an assigned frequency. So when that item becomes available, so for example, a factory has produced some, like so, then this will trigger a redstone signal, which if the chest isn't full, like here, will force the machine to grab an item from the food tube system, the one that it wants, and to put it inside its storage chest. And this repeats until it is full, or until the other storage chests on the networks are out of minecarts. In that case, it waits until one shows up again. Anyway, but this fills up this local storage chest for minecarts, and this is for the local station. Now, you may see this complicated as buildcraft thingamabob here, and this is because the dispenser, for whatever reason, kind of has like schizophrenia or whatever. Any redstone signal within like a 2x2 block area of this thing will trigger it, even if redstone rules should dictate that it shouldn't. So I had to come up with this complicated ass machine to have it to work. But essentially, whenever the dispenser gets empty, this will turn on. This is the inventory empty. This latches a latch, which is over there, and starts this redstone engine, which starts sucking items out of the storage chest and into the dispenser. They first go through here, through an insertion pipe, and as long as there is space in the inventory of the dispenser, we are good. The items will keep flowing into it. However, as soon as the inventory of the dispenser becomes full, the items instead go through here and enter this pipe, where they trigger this redstone pipe, which resets the latch and informs the food tube receiver that the dispenser is full. We can turn off the engine, so it turns off the engine and the whole thing is complete. Again, it's really goofy, and I'm kind of pissed that I had to build this contraption, but I don't know, 2012 was a different time, and the dispensers are kind of buggy in this version. So if I dispense a few minecarts, hear the click, it's empty, and the system has started. We are putting minecarts into the dispenser. I'm gonna help it a bit because it's gonna take forever. And once this one enters, this is gonna be the last one. Oh, actually, it's already done. See, this minecart passes through here, triggers this, resets the latch, and the engine is off. The fuck happened? Oh. What? One more problem left to solve. I'm gonna put a sign. And here I also saw a problem. Okay, but that's how it should work. I will fix this. The issue is the iron pipe is getting switched by some redstone signal somewhere and is redirecting the items in the wrong destination. So this has to be fixed. But now we'll talk about the receiving station. Again, all the stations on the entire metro will share minecarts with each other. There isn't one centralized system. The food tube is entirely a decentralized thingamabob.
Kuba, wychodzę, zamknij.
Oh, that's my sister. So anyways, whenever a station receives minecarts, as in people come in and it destroys them over here via this cactus, it wants to put them to good use. It wants to be able to later send these minecarts out so people can ride trains. And we could do this the simple way, where we just hook up this pipe, this chest, but we can be clever. And we can have it so that all stations on the network can use the minecarts that a single station has picked up. So for example, this station's storage chest could be full, but a station all the way on the other side of the networks could be desperately needing minecarts. Well, the receiver station is just a food tube transmitter. Except this time it's even simpler because we don't need to worry about stacking the minecarts because they don't stack. So basically any minecarts that come in here come into this food tube transmitter, which if any other station on the network needs the minecarts, it will pull them out. For example, the priority is given to its own little receiver. So as you can see, the pipe will go here. So should this station itself need minecarts, it will have priority before any other station on the network can receive them. But just Let's put some minecarts in here. And as you can see, the terminal has fired up. And we are now transporting the minecarts, filling up this chest. So that's about it. I apologize for how messy this pre-demonstration, I guess you could call it, has been. But what can you do, man? This thing still isn't entirely done. As you can see, there are still problems to work out, but I'll do that soon. One more thing I want to touch up on. How would you change lines at a bigger station? Well, if you look at it, all of the stations are pretty square-ish in area. There aren't any major bits sticking out, and that's on purpose. So what I have been envisioning is, for example, this is the redstone line. This is just some example I made up. You could have many of these smaller stations kind of lined up next to each other, and then one major corridor where travelers could just walk between the different lines and change lines this way. Of course, the individual lines will still need to fit somewhere, and the solution for that, in my opinion, would be to just run them at different heights. There is enough area in these run-ups, and here this also area, to facilitate tunnels at different levels. But we'll see. Additionally, I also want to say that this only goes in one direction, in this case here. However, so on the other side of the railway, for cars going this way, each station would have to be mirrored over here. This is just, you know, one direction. Another thing that isn't done yet is the station arrival and the station exit. For the station entrance, it's pretty easy, just a big hole with water at the bottom. For the exit, I plan to use a hole for people with jetpacks and a piston elevator for people without jetpacks, because the whole system has to be fast. But I'm open to your ideas, and in general, what do you think about this system? And hopefully updates are coming soon, and a drawn out schematic as well, because this is just, you know, the test jig, you could call it. See ya guys, and have a good one. Bye.